Hello, welcome to Lost in Movies. I'm Alec Kerr, the film critic for the Conway Daily Sun, once again joined by
Tranifer.
And this week we are talking about Green Lantern, the new DC superhero movie with, the Green Lantern, with his magic ring.
Yeah, and his lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, going prospecting.
Charges his ring with his magic lantern.
He has to tough talk it sometimes.
Sometimes,
but, you know.
yeah. And we're also going to talk about other DC movies, Batman, Superman, Watchmen, maybe a little Swamp Thing. We'll see what happens. We're just going to go with the flow.
I'm going to go crazy.
We'll just go with the flow today. And so yeah, check out the trailer for Green Lantern.
The great light has gone out in the universe. Worlds annihilated. Lanterns, we face an unprecedented danger. An enemy powerful enough to destroy entire civilizations. To fight this enemy, the ring chose a human. But I don't need to tell you your duty. Your name?
Hal Jordan.
The ring chose you.
Take it.
Speak the oath.
Speak the oath, because everybody knows the oath. I pledge allegiance to a lantern that I got from a dying purple alien.
So, this is the chosen human.
The ring turns thought into reality. Its limits are only what you can imagine.
The sword. How human.
Remember, your enemy is not gonna play fair.
Is that what I think it is?
An alien life form, Doctor.
The first that mankind has ever encountered.
Son, we're gonna get you well again.
I've never felt better in my life.
They said they wouldn't have chosen me. They didn't see something I don't see yet.
I see it. You had the ability to overcome fear.
Stay here.
No problem.
If you die, innocent lives will be lost. Your world will be annihilated.
Help me save my planet.
Fight it. Fight it with me. Brightest day, blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light!
So I did have some mixed feelings about this. I feel like critics might have been a little bit too harsh on it. I can see why people weren't blown away by this. I feel like they did go overboard with the CG. I feel like they could have maybe used some rubber masks instead of CG monsters. But it was a pretty visually pleasing movie. I mean, like all of this, the whole cities, the planets, they were so cool. And yeah, Sinestro was awesome, but I was kind of disappointed by some of the villains and monsters. I feel like they kind of fell short with parts of the story, didn't really follow through, like with his family and whatnot. They kind of just threw him in there and took him out. But I did like it. I think Reynolds did much better than I was expecting. I didn't realize he had an actual acting side to him, so.
I knew that he could act. I just think he's made some bad film choices that don't really showcase his acting abilities. He did a movie called Definitely Maybe a few years ago. It was a romantic comedy that showed that he had a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
I liked it too. I think film critics are just getting tired of superhero movies, and so I think part of the problem is that the standards have been put so high with Dark Knight, Iron Man, even Thor, even X-Men First Class, that something comes along that's kind of in the middle, and they're just like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, it's just kind of okay.
Yeah, it was, it wasn't dreadful, it wasn't amazing.
But it was entertaining.
It was a summer popcorn film. I mean, what do you expect,
And, I thought the whole theme of, instead of being good versus evil, it's will versus fear.
Yeah.
And the theme that, being fearless isn't about not having fear, it's about being able to overcome your fear. I thought that was a really interesting message, a good message. I think this is kind of more kid-friendly than a lot of superhero movies. I think this is a movie that, I mean, it is PG-13, but I think this is almost more of a kids movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good message for kids. I did like it. I think Peter Sarsgaard as Hector Hammond, who was kind of like a secondary villain, but was much more interesting than the
flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, or the giant, killer calamari, as Christine Lemire from AP said. But my thing is, and I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but so someone just cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. I'm tired of these villains getting killed off in one movie.
Yeah.
Like with Venom in Spider-Man 3 and Two-Face in Dark Knight. Like they did such a good job establishing the Hector Hammond character, and Peter Sarsgaard is so amazing. His line deliveries are so good. Like. Yeah. And then they kill him off. Like that's one of Green Lantern's primary adversaries in the comic books, and they just kill him off, and they don't even really give him his just due. It's just like, oh, you're done now.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like that with a lot of, or both of the villains. Yeah. Like, oh, he has to struggle a little bit, but oh, he's a Green Lantern, so
right. So
he got it.
That's. Because I would have liked to see more of Peter Sarsgaard in other movies, like
evolving into the big, evil, scary one.
Right. Yeah. And I thought he was great. I loved his line delivery where it's like, "Aw, Hal Jordan's grown up. Too bad the world's about to end."
I know.
I was just like, that is awesome.
He was funny.
He was a great.
I was cracking up.
And I think it goes a long way to making the movie watchable. It's like if you have a good villain that you love to hate.
Yeah, even if they're wisecracking.
Right. I thought, and you could complain that, okay, the Green Lantern, his powers, magic ring, allows him to create whatever he has in his mind. And you could complain, oh, well, he's not really being that creative. Like, he's creating guns and, like, a race car track, which I thought was pretty cool.
Human.
Yeah.
They even make a line about that.
Yeah.
Oh, swords, how human.
I know.
So,
but you could say that, well, you could still stretch your imagination a little bit more,
He's still green.
Yeah.
Still green.
Haha, you're still green. Look at you there. But Mark Strong was very good.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know it was him until after I saw it. He looks crazy.
And Jeffrey Rush is the voice of one of the other Lanterns, and Michael Clark Duncan. And I thought some of the effects on those creatures were a little
cheesy.
Little cheesy.
Green cheese.
But their world, what was it? Oa?
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole planet
awesome.
was really great, and I liked Ryan Reynolds in the movie. He definitely toned down his wisecracking. There was a little bit of wisecracking, but I didn't mind it. I love the line that's in the trailer, there's water in the tap. It's like, wait, what? And there's a dogfight scene that was really great.
Yeah.
They were talking about this off camera about how so many critics are comparing it to Top Gun just because there are jets. It's like, just because there are jets doesn't mean it's like Top Gun.
No.
And that sequence was pretty cool. So.
It was cool. It was really.
And
cool.
I actually kind of liked the relationship between him and Blake Lively.
Yeah. It didn't seem as forced as in Thor.
Yeah.
With the Natalie Portman romance.
And it wasn't quite the whole damsel in distress thing. She was kind of his equal. I mean, at least not when he's Green Lantern, but as
a work associate or whatever.
Yeah. They were, she was his boss and was kind of just reprimanding him. It's like, hey, listen, you have to be Green Lantern.
You do it.
Don't be a quitter. You always quit. Stop being a quitter.
Yeah.
So I like that dynamic.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's a little bit more childish. Maybe that's why people are ragging on it.
Yeah.
But it's decent.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah. All right. So comments about other DC movies. Primarily Batman and Superman, but first up we've got Jacob Hamilton.
All right.
Jacob from Hamilton, Ohio. Gotta get it right. Who left quite a lengthy discussion about Batman movies. Quite lengthy. So I'm gonna take a deep breath here. Tim Burton's original Batman, Michael Keaton was his favorite. Michael Keaton was, to my opinion, the best Batman, which is kind of funny because Warner Brothers received endless protests from people complaining about the decision to make him Batman before the movie's release. But to this day, many people, myself included, consider him the best in the Batsuit with his slanting eyes. he definitely had the most intimidating look to me. The 1989 original edges out The Dark Knight in quality. So I won't disagree with the Michael Keaton part. I think he probably
Michael Keaton was an awesome Batman.
He was probably the best Batman. And I think he was just the all-around best Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, I think Christian Bale might have an edge on his Bruce Wayne, but his Batman with the voice. With the voice. It's a little over the top, so.
A little raw WWE wrestling.
Yeah, so I think Christian Bale might have the edge on playing Bruce Wayne, because I like.
He's awesome as Bruce Wayne.
I like his, like, because, you know, Bruce Wayne is almost also a costume for him. Yeah. With his whole Playboy thing, so.
He's very schmaltzy.
Yeah, so I think he has the edge on Bruce Wayne, but for the full package, for, you know, being a good Batman and a good Bruce Wayne, I think Michael Keaton.
He takes the Bat Award.
He takes the cake. Let's see, what else we got here from Jacob. I didn't feel Batman was in Dark Knight as much as he should have been. There was more emphasis on supporting characters. The Dark Knight is the second best Batman movie. That's kind of always been the problem with Batman movies, is that the villains almost always get more screen time.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of part of why people like Batman, though. It has more interesting characters in your
You could even say that first Batman movie should have been called Joker, because, you know, Joker almost has more screen time. Like Jack Nicholson.
I was about to say, though, it's Jack Nicholson, and he's sexy, so he has to. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Now, here's where things get interesting. I thought, actually, those original series of films by Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher were actually more faithful to the early Batman comics. Batman was a dark Avenger, brooding and vigilante, dark and grim, and Robin appeared and Batman got softer and more human, and that's kind of what those movies did. They got brighter. I guess, but I mean, I like Batman Forever.
Yeah.
If only for Jim Carrey's Riddler.
He was awesome.
He was amazing. But Batman and Robin is generally regarded to be one of the worst superhero movies ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, it took them, what, 8 years to make another movie, and they had to do a complete reboot because there was no way to do a sequel. I mean, that says a lot.
That's no bueno.
Batman and Robin's just, I mean, I think we both agree, we both like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
Oh, she was amazing.
She was amazing. She should have been in a better movie, but she was great.
That's the only reason why I liked that movie, though. Like.
But then you have, you know, Just Chill.
Just chill.
Take two and call me in the morning. Just like Arnold. I do love the moment where he's got everybody, just sing.
Come on, sing. Louder, come on, sing. Come on.
Just sing. I'm Mr. White Christmas. Yes, I love it.
Probably my favorite part.
It shouldn't be in a Batman movie, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
They should have just given them a bunch of props and had them run around. Just leave Batman out of this.
Yeah.
Just go play with your toys and your special
Just go play with the in the ice rink with Poison Ivy and call it good.